They called her the Witch of Berkeley. In the quiet corners of medieval England, her name was whispered with both awe and dread. She was said to be a woman of wealth and power, living not in poverty like most accused of witchcraft, but in privilege. Yet her life, according to legend, was marked not by peace but by a pact so dark that even the earth itself seemed to shudder when it was fulfilled. The story begins in the 11th century, in the town of Berkeley, Gloucestershire. Unlike the poor women often branded witches for little more than herbs and midwifery, the Lady of Berkeley was known for her influence, cunning, and knowledge of hidden arts. She was no beggar by the roadside. She was of noble standing, a woman respected and feared. It is said that she had turned from the church long ago, spurning the cross for the company of spirits. Her nights were filled with secret rites, her wealth fed by powers unseen. Neighbors swore they heard voices near her manor when no guest was there, and strange lights flickered in the woods when she walked alone beneath the moon. But time does not pause even for those who consort with the shadows. As she grew older, a sickness fell upon her, and with it, the realization that death was drawing near. It was then, lying in her chamber surrounded by fine silks and flickering candles, that she confessed to her children. She admitted her soul was bound by a pact with the devil himself. Her end would not be like others, no gentle passing, no peaceful grave. Instead, she foresaw a dreadful fate. Her body would not rest in consecrated ground, for demons would come to claim her. In her fear, she begged her son and daughter to help her. She ordered that, when she died, they must sew her corpse into the strongest elk hide they could find, to bind her tightly. Then they were to place her in a stone coffin, sealed with heavy chains, and bury her deep beneath the earth inside the church itself. The ground, the stone, the iron, all would serve as barriers against the fiends who would surely come. Her children obeyed, though terror weighed on their hearts. Soon after, the Lady of Berkeley died. Her death was not quiet. Witnesses claimed the manor shook with unnatural sounds, as if something clawed at its walls. Yet she was prepared. Her body was wrapped in the hide, locked in chains, sealed in the coffin, and buried beneath sacred ground. But safety in legends is always temporary. On the very first night after her burial, the graveyard grew restless. Witnesses spoke of a terrible thunder that split the silence, though the sky was clear. Black hounds were seen circling the church, their eyes glowing like embers. Inside the stone walls, a dreadful sound echoed, chains snapping, stone grinding, and the coffin trembling as if struck from below. The monks prayed desperately, clutching their crosses, but their words seemed to wither against the force pressing upward. And then, as the story tells, the devils came. The priest commanded that the woman's body be clothed in holy garments and wrapped with chains of iron, their weight pressing upon her chest. Psalms were chanted without pause as the monks kept vigil, their voices quivering with fear. By dawn, her coffin was sealed and taken into the church, where she was buried beneath the stones of the floor, surrounded by layers of iron to bind her spirit. But the earth does not keep what hell demands. On the first night, as the monks prayed, a sound like thunder shook the ground. The church doors rattled on their hinges, though no storm howled outside. From beneath the floor came a low groaning, as if the coffin itself strained against its bonds. The monks tightened their circle of prayer, voices rising louder, trembling. Then came the second night. The chanting had grown hoarse, but none dared pause, for they feared silence more than exhaustion. Again the thunder, again the trembling floor. This time, the sound was louder, sharper, like claws scraping against stone. Some swore they heard laughter echoing through the church, laughter not human but shrill, mocking, filled with triumph. By the third night, their prayers were desperate. The brothers believed the end was near. Their voices shook as the earth trembled once more, but now the chains groaned and snapped, one by one, with a sound that echoed through the nave. The coffin burst apart, and the stones of the floor split asunder. Out from the darkness came a figure black as pitch, towering and foul, its eyes burning with the fire of damnation. The monks cried out, but their words faltered as the church shook with infernal power. The demon seized the corpse of the witch, now twisted and lifeless, and hurled her across its back like a hunter claiming his prey. The monks watched in horror as it rode a monstrous black horse that rose from the pit, its hooves striking sparks against the broken stone. With a scream that split the night, the beast leapt into the darkness, vanishing beneath the earth, leaving only shattered stone and the stench of brimstone behind. The monks fell to their knees, unable to speak, their hearts stricken with terror. The grave of the Witch of Berkeley was never sealed again. The church remained broken, a reminder to all who entered that no prayer, no chain, and no iron could hold back a soul claimed by hell itself. And so the tale spread, whispered in the villages and towns, of a woman who bargained with devils, who foresaw her own damnation, and whose body was torn from consecrated ground by the servants of the pit. Her story became a warning, that even the strongest charms and the loudest prayers cannot silence the price of a wicked life. Some say, even now, if you wander near Berkeley on a stormy night, you may hear the faint echo of chains dragging across stone, followed by the distant thunder of hooves disappearing into the earth. The Witch of Berkeley had been taken, not by men, not by mercy, but by hell itself.